All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier eye hypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. So today's theme is, I guess you could say, connected in a way to another powerful batch that we rolled out. This is our Hypnosis Life Foundation course, the foundation program. And in this program, of course, we explore three very important, very crucial aspects of, our, whether you call it our mental health, whether you call it our, prosperity, however you look at it. The three aspects, of course, are everything to do with your identity. The second, of course, is everything to do with the toxic habits that you have in your life. And finally, your money breakthroughs that you're looking for in your life. And these three have a very interesting interplay. And so every week we meet as members from our community and we explore this. We focus on areas in our lives that are most important to us, whether it be your health, money or wealth, or of course your relationships. And these three areas, as you can tell, we've got so many of these stories that we carry with us for possibly not just years but decades. And now, in one moment, you have an opportunity to literally reset or recalibrate the way you think about yourself, the way you think about who you are. And when you start to make those shifts, you will most definitely see a major change in the way that you show up every single day. So, as I was kind of exploring that and, of course, getting ready to record this pod, one thing I was reflecting on was, the power of choices. And, we talk a lot about change. We talk a lot about wanting to make a difference, wanting to experience a difference. But we do sometimes forget that, you know, um, choices really are what define the kind of change that we can experience in our lives. And by this I mean that if you really want to be able to change your life, if you want to be able to experience transformation in your life, then it is so important that you become more aware of your choices, whether this be in your food habits, whether this be in your sleep habits, whether this be in whatever consumption that you're doing, whether it's media, whether it is, the kind of people that you have in your space. All of these, are based on choice. And I know for a lot of us, whether we are in our 40s or 50s, or maybe even beyond, or for some of us who are, transitioning from our 20s into our 30s, uh, this can sometimes be, maybe you're in a state where typically, and I'll tell you this, and I see a lot of people in their 30s and 40s, especially. And of course, we have folks, older. But one thing I've noticed is that, a lot of times we've grown up believing that we do not have choice. We have to follow the dotted line, we have to follow the preset path. But one thing I have also noticed is that post COVID, over these last 5 years, a lot of people have had an opportunity to reset their identities. They've had an opportunity to reset who they want to be in the future. And I know that these are people who are taking a more active role in the choices that they make pretty much every single day. On the other hand, there are a lot of people who have now, over the last couple of years, started to go back into that state of sleep, which for a lot of us, we were kind of just on the treadmill chugging along and, uh, you know, hoping, believing that the path that we had chosen maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, it would lead us to a place of uh, maybe prosperity or maybe at least a certain kind of mediocrity. So for a lot of us, that was acceptable because that was safe. But obviously, having seen firsthand how COVID has reshaped the way we think about our lives, the way we think about our relationships, and of course, the way we think about our health, a lot of us have had that wake up call, and now we refuse to go back to sleep. And so, for me, of course, as someone who chose unconsciously maybe to be the outlier, it's not something I intended, but this is something that I've always believed in. And it's really beautiful to notice more and more people tuning into this way of being, this way of believing, and this way of choosing to be different. And I'm sure as a healer coach, if you have had these experiences, anything that I've shared right now, if you resonate with even one of these aspects or points, you know that you are very different from who you were 3 years or maybe 5 years ago. And so um, every moment is an opportunity to choose. And the more you make these informed choices, the more you will be in a position to be able to experience a different kind of life and to be able to create a different kind of life. So to me, that's also one of the reasons why I make it a point to do these pods every single day. One, for me, of course, it is a practice. It is part of my um, sadhana, if you want to call it that. Like I make it a point to show up and do this pod every single day. It gives me, of course, an opportunity to really, reflect on my own thoughts, reflect on how I think about the world. And as I'm sure a lot of you are noticing, over the last 2, 3 years, there's a lot more that has started to change, right? And you can't really uh, run too far away from, when we talk about changing our minds, talk about changing mindset, and of course, we're talking about AI in its many different forms. So change is definitely happening. It's only getting faster. If we thought 2020 was going to be a year where things shift, we've not even seen the beginning of it, because now the way we think, the way we work, the way we look at life is only changing faster. So one more thing, of course, before I go, I want to share with you that in this journey, especially because we're talking about people like us, people like you and me, who are healer coaches, people who have understood the value of healing, understood the value of coaching. And so you show up more and more each day wanting to share this in your own communities, whether you just started or whether you have started to explore and to run different experiments to see who is going to connect to your message. One thing I can tell you is that you do not need to do this alone anymore. And when you have a community that is here to support you, to back you, and to give you that space where you can discover more of who you are, then I can definitely say that this is a community that does exactly that. So if you're looking to be part of a community, it's very simple. Come join us, come experience what we do. Of course, every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time, we meet for an hour. It's a really, really powerful process. It's an opportunity to meet live, to meet other members as well. And of course, it's an opportunity for you to see, is this something, is this an ideology or philosophy that you really resonate with? And if you want to go further, we have several programs. We've got a lot of live programs. There are three tracks essentially. There is the foundation track that happens every Monday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's a 3-day process, and we meet between 11 and 1, 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. And of course, on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we meet between 7 and 9 every single day. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. So these are two ways in which you can begin your journey of going deeper, of really connecting with uh, yourself, connecting with other like-minded healer coaches, and you know, continue on your own journey of making even more empowered choices that will shape your identity for literally years and years to come. So if any of this sounds interesting, any of this is intriguing, or just making you curious, maybe you're like, yes, this is exactly what I was looking for, then come join us, experience what we do, and we'd love to have you on board. And of course, our members and me, we're all here to support you through your journey. So as always, having said all of that, remember to live your purpose, And if there's any way in which we can help you, we'd be more than happy to. God bless. And of course, again, as always, remember to live your purpose. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.